Hello, my name is Stephanie Osterdahl, and this is my graduate school presentation for Psych 489 for senior assessment. So today I am going to walk through the process of applying to graduate school, which was something that I did in December and the beginning of January. So let's begin. So when I first started applying for graduate school, I first had to decide what area of psychology I wanted to go on to study. So I finally settled on industrial organizational psychology. And this type of psychology isn't as common as some other ones, such as clinical or counseling psychology. So I did some research about different schools around the country that actually offered this program, and found out a little bit more about what IO psychology was. And industrial organizational psychology is concerned with the study of workplace behavior, and they are often applied to research in increasing workplace productivity, selecting employees best suited for particular jobs, and product testing. So I have a little chart here, and this shows where organizational psychologists actually work out in the real world. So as you can see, a large majority of them work in consulting firms. Another large majority work in universities by teaching. About 18% work in the industry, and about 7% work for the government. So there are a wide variety of different places that organizational psychologists actually work. Okay, so after I did some research on industrial organizational psychology, I narrowed it down to about 8 different schools. And one of the schools I applied to was Seattle Pacific University, and they actually offered a doctorate as well as a master's program. So I applied to both and asked to be considered for both. And this is the mission statement from their website. It says, Seattle Pacific Industrial Organizational Psychology Department is focused on equipping students with the best research training available in order to prepare them to be scholar leaders who are fully committed to the goal of changing the world of work over the next 10 years. So that gave a nice overview of what their program was all about. So after deciding that I wanted to apply, I went online and found all the admissions requirements, and they were various different ones. Here's a list of them. So a bachelor's degree was required, and you had to submit your transcript. You had to take the GRE and have a minimum combined score of 1100 or 300 from the new GRE. You had to write a personal statement based on their requirements and submit that, including things like your personal qualifications, your experience, and other insights about IO psychology. And then you had to provide 3 letters of recommendation. And I got each of these letters from professors that I've worked with here at Central. You also had to submit a language competency, just basically saying that language or English was my first language. And then you also had to submit a statement of financial support, which included just the fact that if you got accepted, you would be willing to pay the cost of tuition. So after my application was submitted on December 15th, I got called in the end of January. I was called in for the interview day. Interview day consisted of about 50 other applicants, and it was an all-day process where we got to meet with 4 of the core faculty members at SPU. They answered any questions we had, and we also got to learn all about what the program was about and what to expect if we were accepted into the program. After interview day, a few weeks went by, and then I got an email from Seattle Pacific notifying me that I had been accepted into the doctorate program at Seattle Pacific. So after this happened, I sent back my letter of intention to enroll, and I received all my information that I needed for registration for the fall. So this only gives a brief synopsis of what it took to apply to graduate school. It was actually a long, tedious, and time-consuming process, but definitely worth it in the long run. I'm definitely glad I did it, and it is preparing me for the next step in my life, which will be to get my doctorate degree in industrial organizational psychology. Thank you.